Popular YouTube megastar MrBeast is in a tricky legal situation with his Orlando-based ghost kitchen company, with him suing them over disgusting and inedible burgers being sold by them, with his name being on that brand. And in a twist, they also turned around and countersued MrBeast for breach of contract per the law of tort. This case is an ongoing case, and I think that it's going to test the legal system of the United States of America. But let's get into the case. Let's go down to the genesis of it so we appreciate it better as the case evolves. Now, YouTube megastar MrBeast, like I said, he's suing an Orlando-based dining company, claiming that they tarnished his brand and reputation by serving burgers that received complaints of being, quote, disgusting, inedible, and revolting, while also alleging that he hasn't even received any payment despite the brand's significant earnings. Of course, part of these earnings can be attributed to the fact that he is associated with the brand and his face is also on the packaging and the branding to an extent. Now, MrBeast, whose real name is James Donaldson, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court in New York just this past Monday, claiming that complaints of the burger sold under his virtual restaurant brand through Orlando-based virtual dining concepts have caused material irreparable harm to the MrBeast brand and MrBeast's reputation. Now, these concerns of MrBeast are very understandable in my view, because he has amassed over 173 million subscribers on YouTube, and that makes him the second most followed person on the YouTube platform. And he has also opened this virtual restaurant, MrBeast Burger, during the COVID-19 pandemic to help thousands of restaurants bring in revenue during the pandemic that they would not otherwise have been able to. So it comes as a shock and as a negative effect on his brand and name if the brand is being associated with poor service delivery as far as these negative feedbacks on these burgers are concerned. It affects him directly or indirectly, depending on how you look at it. So in that context, his concerns seem valid. So that was when MrBeast, who was also named in Time magazines as one of the top 100 most influential people in 2023, then joined forces with Virtual Dining Concepts to launch the virtual restaurant. He did this in COVID-19, and he did this with the goal of partnering with existing restaurants to prepare MrBeast branded food items, sharing revenue and generating extra income without competing with the partners' brick-and-mortar services, since all others were online and through third-party food delivery apps like Uber Eats and DoorDash. If you ask me, I would say that it's a laudable idea. I'm not a business mogul. I'm not familiar with the technicalities and the terms and conditions agreed on between the parties involved and MrBeast. But on the face of it, I think that even the thought or the objective of its establishment was genius, and it was good. It also had the spin-off effect of providing jobs for people to do in a COVID era where jobs were being lost to an extent. Now, MrBeast claims, however, that Virtual Dining Concepts was more focused on expanding the business rather than controlling the quality of the burgers. So, according to MrBeast, these guys or these partners of his were rather focused on quantity and expansion instead of quality of the burgers. More specifically, when MrBeast and Virtual Dining Concepts created their first brick-and-mortar burger shop in New Jersey in 2022, September specifically, the restaurant company was allegedly only interested in focusing on the virtual business and did not prioritize customer service and quality. I don't know the details of this, but on the face of the statement, as I have researched and given to you now, I think that in itself would bring some problems, because when it comes to the food service, the quality of the food speaks volumes. And in addition to that, customer service also speaks volumes. So the quality of the food and the customer service, or the customer experience in getting the food served and delivered, is key. These are things that will either put people off of the brand or attract people to the brand and increase revenue. MrBeast said in his lawsuit that the virtual business accounts for about 90% of virtual dining concepts revenue. Now, this is despite numerous objections by MrBeast, whose complaints about quality control fell on deaf ears. All this has been stated in his lawsuit, and as a result, MrBeast's Burger has been regarded as a misleading, poor reflection of the MrBeast brand that provides low-quality products to customers that are delivered late, in unbranded packaging, fail to include the ordered items, and in some instances were even inedible. I don't know if there's any other form or other level of negative review that can be given to a food delivery service or a food restaurant that is beneath what I just read. I think this is so bad a review, and if it's coming from the masses in that context, and it's about a brand that is associated with a brand called MrBeast, who is known worldwide for what he does and is even recognized as one of the 100 people who are most influential in 2023, then I think that it deals a heavy dent to his brand. So his concerns, I think, are very understandable. Now, some people said that it is sad that MrBeast would put his name on this, and the food is Orlando's West Burger. This is actually also stated in his lawsuit. Others also said that the burgers were mostly just raw meat. I don't know if that is an exaggeration though, because at least they would have been tended to in one way or the other, but maybe that is their way of also saying that it was more raw than cooked. I don't know, but that is what they put out. And others also advised others to not waste their money on the absolute worst burger they have ever eaten in their entire life. This is very serious. And if you understand anything about customer experience, you know that one negative review from a dissatisfied customer can actually destroy your business, because one customer can reach up to over 1,000 customers. The message spreads like wildfire. The dissatisfied customer tells the next person about that bad review, the next person passes it on, and it goes on and on. Now multiply that primary effect by thousands of customers starting that effect, as compared to just one customer, and you begin to understand the irreparable damage that MrBeast may be referring to, because it looks like the harm has already been done. But then again, this is my view. It didn't end there. MrBeast went on to also claim that he hasn't received any payment. The lawsuit states that Virtual Dining Concepts denied MrBeast's approval rights on using his name, image, and likeness on social media and other places without permission. They also allegedly registered 6 international trademarks using MrBeast's name and brand without any consent or knowledge from MrBeast. Additionally, MrBeast claims he has not received a dime, and I'm quoting, he has not received a dime, while Virtual Dining Concepts has made millions of dollars. This is also stated in his lawsuit. Now, Beast Investments is reportedly owed royalties and distributions under an agreement with the restaurant company. MrBeast is therefore seeking damages and so much more. So in his lawsuit, MrBeast, also known as Donaldson, is seeking, among other things, damages, the dissolution of his MrBeast Burger partnership with virtual dining concepts, and an injunction that prevents the restaurant company to use his name and likeness. So, like I said, this case is ongoing, and it looks like there are going to be interesting days ahead, because this is going to be a legal tussle that I think will travel some time. I don't know if the copies of the agreements that they drafted or the contracts that they drafted to birth this whole concept is actually in circulation. I've been trying to find it, but I'm not able to get any. But if there is, then I'm sure that the whole thing will be based on what they agreed on and what they put to paper, especially before the inception of this establishment, because it will speak volumes to how things have been done, and it will then be compared to what they signed off as what they were going to do right from the get-go. But like I said, this was when MrBeast sued this company, but then they came back and countersued him for $100 million. So he is now being sued by the company that runs MrBeast Burger, which is a virtual restaurant chain, and its ghost kitchens, for failing to honor his contractual obligations and interfering with business. And they are suing him with damages allegedly exceeding $100 million. This is where the law gets, I would say, complicated in quotes, because one issue can be used to bring a suit against somebody, and that same issue can be flipped around and also used for a countersuit by that same person who has been sued earlier. And it all comes down to who has a case and who does not have a case per the facts of the case at hand. I hope I'm not confusing you. Now, the suit alleges that Donaldson, also known as MrBeast, didn't meet promotional obligations, and goes further to say he made disparaging comments about MrBeast Burgers and VDC that caused irreparable harm, pointing to a number of now deleted tweets in which MrBeast said he wanted to end the partnership and signed a bad deal, according to a copy of the suit that I had a look at. So you see, both of them are trying to sue each other for damage, or let me say for irreparable damage caused to them or caused to their person by virtue of what the other party did or said. That is how come I'm saying that interesting days ahead, because I think that this case, I don't think this will be the first of its kind in the US, but I think that it's also going to test their legal system to an extent. And I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think that it's going to be an interesting case. Now, the virtual dining company argues in their suit also that the restaurant, MrBeast Burger and Company, suffered a damaged or destroyed reputation from MrBeast's statements, including losing vendors, suppliers, and customers that caused damage in the 9-figure range. I'm no legal expert. I am no lawyer. This is just my opinion. But then, looking at the fact that MrBeast has over 170 something subscribers on YouTube, the huge social media presence that he has and all, I didn't see the deleted tweets that they are referring to. But if these tweets actually came from him, then to an extent, there's a possibility that his negative feedback would have reached a large audience who also know him and who most likely may be aware that he actually has an association with the brand that he is criticizing, in the extent that this same brand is saying is causing irreparable damage to them. So if the criticism is coming from MrBeast, who has this large following and it's coming from him about a company he's associated with, then it seems more likely to be believed and acted on or inform or influence the people who get this feedback from him. So, to an extent, it could be possible that the claim of the virtual dining company that it's had adverse effects on them could be possible. I'm not saying it is, I'm just doing my own analysis here. Now, this suit comes just 1 week after MrBeast or Donaldson had actually sued the virtual dining concepts company, seeking to end their relationship. And he, like I said earlier, was arguing that the virtual dining concept was giving customers low quality products. They didn't deliver on time. They delivered also in unbranded packaging. And then what they even delivered were sometimes inedible. So he was also seeking the immediate right to end the deal with the virtual dining concepts and other undisclosed monetary charges. So you see what is going on here. And I think that there's a possibility that this case is about a social media celebrity who believes his fame means that his word does not matter, that the facts do not matter, and that he can renege and breach his contractual obligations without consequence. This is what was actually captured in the lawsuit against MrBeast. And they go on to say that if that is the case, then he is mistaken. So they are trying to push it from an angle that because he is a social media celebrity, he wants to ride on that and absolve himself of the responsibility of what he does and other things, and ride on that also to breach his obligations. And if that is the case, they want MrBeast to know that he's wrong. These are the things that the virtual dining concepts are saying in their lawsuit. But is that really the case? Now, $174 million. That is, 174 million subscribers. That is how many subscribers MrBeast has on his channel, and it makes him the most subscribed individual user on the platform and also the second most followed person on the YouTube platform. In addition to this, he also has 86 million followers on TikTok, while MrBeast Burger's TikTok has just 2.2 million. So notice the disparity, or notice the gap with regards to audience access, which is favorable to MrBeast. And I did this analysis earlier that it means that if he posts on these platforms, he reaches a very large audience. Some of his numbers exceed the population of some countries, actually. So I think that it is key that this is looked at. But this is just an analysis I'm making, just so we get to appreciate some of the issues that have been put out there by both parties. But ultimately, it's the court who are going to determine who is in the right and who is in the wrong. I am just trying to break down the information out there. Now, I've already given you the background to this and where we are now. So MrBeast sued and he has been countersued. We are waiting for their day in court, and I'm hoping that they will settle this amicably without tarnishing the brand that they've established. I think they built a beautiful thing, and like any new thing, or like most new things, there will definitely be some points where some conflict would come in, and I think they may probably have to resort to good conflict management, which can sometimes still be achieved in court in one way or the other. But I just hope that after the dust settles on this legal tussle, they will be able to move on in a manner that still sets the pace for the philanthropic gesture and business acumen with which they started this, and the objectives therein to still remain achievable, so that employees of this company do not get caught up in the mix just because it has to be dissolved or something else. What do you think about this whole case? Let me know your views in the comment section. If there's anything I missed, also let me know in the comment section. Until then, please subscribe to our channel, share our videos, like the video, and let me know if there are any true crime stories out there that you wish I cover, which I'm yet to touch on. especially if there are cases that are trending in your country, wherever you are. Thank you so much for your support. You've been incredible to us. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. And hey, if you, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now. We'll catch you next time. Stay safe out there and keep an eye out.